Good morning, everybody. My name is Noah, and I'm here to bring you today's CPI morning message. Now, I thought today I would read to you a little bit from the works of Kim Il-sung, because I was thinking a little bit about the way that that left-wingers, the way that so-called Marxists responded respond oftentimes to CPI waving the American flag, for having feelings of patriotism and, stuff like that. Funnily enough, oftentimes it's folks who claim to be very supportive of the DPRK who get upset with us for this sort of stuff. And I always sort of laugh and kind of think clearly you've never read anything that comes out of the DPRK. So let me just read you a little bit from Kim Il-sung's On Eliminating Dogmatism. Why does our ideological work suffer from dogmatism and formalism? And why do our propagandists and agitators fail to go deeply into matters, only embellishing the facade? And why do they merely copy and memorize foreign things, instead of working creatively? This offers us thought for serious reflection. What is Juche in our party's ideological work? What are we doing? We are not engaged in any other country's revolution, but precisely in the Korean Revolution. This, the Korean Revolution, constitutes Juche in the ideological work of our party. Therefore, all ideological work must be subordinated to the interests of the Korean Revolution. When we study the history of the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, the history of the Chinese Revolution, or the universal truth of Marxism-Leninism, it is all for the purpose of correctly carrying out our own revolution. By saying that the ideological work of our party lacks in Juche, I of course do not mean that we have not made the revolutionary, or that our revolutionary work was undertaken by passers-by. Nonetheless, Juche has not been firmly established in ideological work, which leads to dogmatic and formalistic errors and does too much harm to our revolutionary cause. To make revolution in Korea, we must know Korean history and geography and know the customs of the Korean people. Only then is it possible to educate our people in a way that suits them and to inspire them in an ardent love for their native place and their motherland. So obviously, as communists, we do have respect for places that have successfully carried out a revolution. We do have respect for places like Russia and China and Korea, Nicaragua, the Bolivarian countries, Cuba, Laos, and Vietnam. We have respect for, Islamic socialism in Iran or in Libya or the African liberation struggles. But we also have to remember that in our study of that stuff, it's not an intellectual exercise, one, and two, we're not just gonna copy what we, mechanistically copy what we see in these countries. No, those are socialisms for those particular countries. And when we study them, we are doing all of that in service of educating and cultivating revolutionary consciousness on the one hand, and on the other hand of, properly maneuvering with among the objective forces to make sure that, a revolution is capable of happening in the United States. We're not doing it because, it's a cool pastime to obsess over the obscurities of, the difference between the right wing and the left wing in the Soviet Union, Bukharin versus Trotsky versus Stalin, because it's fun to know, and we can one-sidedly, attach that to our own struggles. No, that's ridiculous. We're studying it because in that there is a kernel of truth that we can apply to our own situation. But we always have to remember that this is always in search of a deep and abiding love of the people, and I want to see them for the first time be able to put their stamp on history. The American people are very different from the Korean people. They're very different from the Chinese people, and that's obvious. And we shouldn't look down on them because of their cultural differences, or maybe we've decided that they're not, revolutionary enough because of what we've observed in these other countries. That's ridiculous. Of course that they have revolutionary potential, and of course it is our job to cultivate what aspects of our own history, of our own culture do have revolutionary potential, and not to shun people who are through because of objective circumstances arriving at a sort of spontaneous consciousness. No, we should be cultivating that consciousness, and we should be making sure that they understand that we're on their side, that we don't hate them. And, communism is not a foreign thing. We have to remember that. Communism is not a foreign thing to American history. The United States has a very uniquely revolutionary position. Even if we're just talking about the history of Marxism, we have wonderful people. We have the Black Panther Party. We have people like Huey Newton. We have people like William Z. Foster and Gus Hall and the Communist Party USA. May Day is because of the Haymarket Affair that happened, in the Midwest. International Working Women's Day is because of the Triangle Shirtwaist Fire that also happened in the U.S. We have a uniquely revolutionary history. We definitely are a revolutionary people, and we should never forget that. And I do think it's very funny when we see these leftists getting upset with us for recognizing that. They are engaging in the very sort of dogmatism that they're accusing us of. We love the American people, and we love the people of the world, and we want to see them fulfill their potential, and that's why we are communists. It's not an intellectual exercise, and we must always keep that in mind. Thank you.